What kind of sorrow would it be if a king ended his days not falling in battle or passing away peacefully in a gorgeous palace, but sitting in a tent piled up with enemy gold, waiting despairingly for chains and judgment? In the long history of ancient Greece, Sparta always stood for iron discipline, self-restraint and utter disdain for material wealth. Yet King Leotychidas wrote a cautionary tale of betrayal, greed and karmic reckoning with his whole life. Tonight, beside the flickering fire, let us step into his life story. Those heavy gold coins glinting coldly in the dark failed to shore up his power, instead turning into tombstones burying his soul. He schemed through countless political plots and brought his rival down, thinking he had seized the supreme authority of Sparta. Destiny grants people desires yet charges a dear price, waiting to close the invisible net the moment greed takes hold. Relax your breath and settle your mind, as we travel back to this ancient era shrouded in mist, plots and whispers. The story begins not with raging wars, but political turmoil brewing in dark corners. Though born into the royal family, Leotychidas was far from the throne. Sparta was ruled jointly by King Cleomenes and King Demaratus, whose conflicts had grown irreconcilable. Leotychidas watched coldly, spotting subtle cracks within the power structure with sharp eyes hidden in shadow. Driven by mounting ambition, he refused to stay a passive onlooker. He secretly reached an underhanded deal with Cleomenes in a secluded chamber, ready to shake the political order. Exploiting rumors about Demaratus' birth origin, he colluded with temple priests to forge an oracle declaring Demaratus not the legitimate royal heir. In an age deeply devoted to divine prophecy, the blow proved fatal. Humiliated and defeated, Demaratus was dethroned and forced into exile. As the direct beneficiary of the conspiracy, Leotychidas claimed the vacant throne and wore a crown stained with betrayal. Seated on the throne and facing bowing subjects, he felt no awe for the gods, only cold satisfaction at his successful scheme. The glory of usurpation faded fast. Power seized by intrigue demanded greater achievements and stern governance to sustain. Soon Leotychidas got his chance to prove himself, as the Persian Empire loomed over Greece and war drew near. Donning heavy bronze armor and holding the commander's scepter, he led the allied Greek army to the front line. At the famous Battle of Mycale, he displayed steady courage, directing troops to charge against Persian warships. The Greeks claimed a sweeping victory. Enemy vessels sank in flames, leaving wreckage scattered across the sea. He rose to peak fame, hailed as a national hero defending homeland against foreign invasion. His blood-stained crimson cloak fluttered in the wind, seemingly erasing the stain of his unlawful ascension. Victory on the battlefield could crush enemy defenses, yet never fill the endless craving for wealth and power deep inside him. Staring at mountains of golden treasures seized from Persia, Leotychidas gradually lost his mind to temptation. The gleaming gold slowly corrupted his heart and judgment. Peace never truly returned after the war. Internal strife and betrayal proved far more terrifying than foreign invasion. Leotychidas marched north to punish the Thessalian nobles who had surrendered to Persia and betrayed the Greek alliance. The Spartan army gained steady advantages, leaving Thessaly on the verge of collapse. Unable to win militarily, local nobles resorted to bribery. One night, envoys carried chests of Persian gold into the royal tent. Flickering torches lit up the dazzling treasure and revealed the king's struggling, greedy face. Coins engraved with Persian royal portraits weighed heavy enough to crush conscience, yet their luster captivated him completely. The bribers asked for no outright treason, only slower military advances to leave room for negotiation. Leotychidas yielded. Hands once wielding spears and stained with enemy blood touched the cold gold, betraying the honor of Sparta. Military operations slowed abruptly. Confused soldiers waited in vain, while their king indulged in illusory satisfaction brought by wealth. No secret can stay hidden. Under Sparta's strict supervisory system, abnormal military moves aroused grave suspicion among authorities. Spies were dispatched to investigate the northern front. On a chilly misty morning, royal inspectors broke into the tent despite guards' obstruction. The scene filled them with shock and humiliation. Leotychidas sat rigidly amid countless open sacks and boxes brimming with gold. Panic swept over him as he clutched undisposed coins tightly. The Spartan king was caught red-handed surrounded by enemy treasure. No excuse could justify his crime. Stripped of command, he was chained like a common criminal and escorted back to his hometown amid public disdain. Gold that once fascinated him became heavy fetters, dragging him from glory to disgrace. Sparta imposed merciless punishment on traitors and corrupt officials, even former kings. Fearing death sentence from the assembly, Leotychidas fled the city secretly with help from loyal followers. He took refuge in a temple at Tegea, reduced to a homeless exile stripped of throne, country and dignity. His name was erased from records, property confiscated and residence demolished to eliminate national shame. Living alone in the cold temple corner, he spent days filled with endless regret. He often stared at his empty palms, realizing he could not keep a single coin from all the wealth he pursued. Lifelong schemes and bloodshed ended in vain fantasy. In old age, he sat lonely on foreign stone steps listening to wind whistling through colonnades. Haunted by memories, he constantly saw Demaratus' desperate exiled eyes. Karma always comes full circle. He dethroned others by conspiracy, and suffered the same exile in return. The once formidable general faded into a neglected elderly man worn down by loneliness and illness. Leotychidas breathed his last on foreign soil at dusk in 469 BC, concluding his dramatic and tragic life. He received no state funeral or military tribute, only cold earth burying his sinful worn body. His story became an embarrassing chapter rarely mentioned in Spartan history. He fancied himself a master of fate, manipulating others and deceiving the public, yet never escaped karmic judgment. The gold-filled tent stands as a vivid symbol of human greed and a warning for power seekers. Wealth and fame resemble bonfires, excessive desire leads to self-destruction, while restraint and peace shelter the soul. May this ancient tale bring you peace of mind. Worldly struggles seem trivial compared with endless history and vast sky. The night grows deep, let go of trivial worries and fall into serene sleep. Good night.